All right, welcome. So now we're going to be looking at Bloodhound. However, we're not going to do it the normal way that we've been looking at everything so far. We're actually just going to go through and we're going to do a whole attack path here. Now, the reason I want to do this is show you a whole attack path because we're getting close to the end of the course. And also, your machine is going to be different from what is on the PDF. All right, so if your machine is different than what's on the PDF, then that means to me that you understand the commands that you're typing in and actually why you're utilizing those commands, when you're using them, and things like that. And that's one of the biggest portions of this course is trying to teach you when to use these commands, how to use them, and what they're actually doing. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna start from the very beginning, right? So we'll start with an NXT SMB. You can see that I do have a new IP address. All right, we'll try with anonymous and we'll just do a tac shares. And like we talked about in another video, in the SMB and responder video, we could try to do something with this comment like right here because we have that right? We have those right privileges. Correct. We also have IPC. We could read that. So we may be able to drop users. Sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot. Looks like with this one we cannot. That's okay, right? So let's go ahead and let's try to see if we can't drop users any other way because right now we're looking at it as we don't have any credentials. So we'll go ahead and we'll do an LDAP search, right? And we'll do that for the object class person, like right there. Hit enter here. We can see that we get a whole bunch of stuff, right? So we definitely did an LDAP search there, and we were able to do a null session with LDAP. That's good. It's good for us, right? Now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and we need to take out the, where is it at? Not the given name, but the should be the SAM account name here, right? So SAM account name, yep, we want to get all those like right there. So let's go ahead and we can save that to a file, something like, I don't know, a.text, right? Then we can go ahead and cat the a.text and we'll grep tech IA for SAM account. And that should give us SAM account, or maybe it won't. Okay, let's go ahead and, oh, probably because that is salmon account. Sam account. We're actually going to put name at the end because if not, then we'll get both groups and names. So we can go ahead and save that into b.text. Right, now let's go ahead and cat that b.text. And then we're just going to, actually we're going to cut that b.text, excuse me. We'll cut tac D. All right, we're going to cut off this like right here, right? We want to cut from like right there. So we're going to say tac D that. Tac F, which side? We're going to take the first side, so 1 on b.text. Let's make sure that looks correct. It does. Nope. We just got a whole bunch of SAM account names, so we actually want 2. Sorry about that. There we go, 2. That looks correct. We'll go ahead and save that into c.text. And then we go ahead and cat that c.text. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a sed command, and I always forget the command. That is one thing I always forget here. So we're just going to say remove all white space from Linux. There we go. I'll say I've searched for it so many times you would think I would actually know the actual command by now, but one of these days I'll actually put it in my notes. Or I'll have something where, I have like a alias that's like remove white space and it does this like right here. All right, so we'll do that, okay? So, and then we can go ahead and save that into users.txt. All right, so we can remove tag RF A, B, and C, right? And now we have that user.txt. Let's go ahead and move that user.txt back one directory so it's back in DC. All right, awesome. So now we have our user.txt there. All right, there's nothing in LDAP, so we can go ahead and remove that also. And now that we have that, let's go ahead and let's try to see what we can do with this user.txt, right? So we'll do our get user or get MP users. And if we hit enter here, we're just going to go ahead and look for users that have that are ASREP roastable. So we'll say tac no pass, tac users file, user.txt, and then we need to give it that domain name, right? And that domain name is going to be cyberranges.local with a slash. Go ahead and run that, and we'll see if anyone here has pre-authentication not required. And we do, we have one, okay? So we have this Fanchon Janine or whatever that is, okay? So let's go ahead and grab that like right there. Now, as you can see, we are looking at this from a point of view of we don't have credentials, right? We don't have anything like that. We do have student credentials, obviously, but we are looking at this from a point of view of kind of trying to work through the whole thing, do that enumeration into that, into starting to try to crack these hashes and then moving up and through, and then lastly utilizing that Bloodhound. So let's go ahead and echo this into hash.txt. We go ahead and cat that hash.txt now. Looks good. John hash.txt with a word list of Rocky.txt, and we get Heather. So let's go ahead and echo that username, whatever that is, Fanchon Janine or whatever, Janie, something like that. We'll go ahead and do that with Heather. And we'll go ahead and we'll put that into user pass.text. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and we can try Bloodhound, or we can try different things again, right? We can try to just get those users again or something like that. So we can do an XC SMB, yep, that like right there. And we'll go ahead and we will use TACU expansion.jine with a password of Heather. And we'll say TAC users. Now, the nice thing about this like right here is that we could have gotten it from over here also, just so you know. Well, actually, that's gone now. Let me go ahead and do another LDAP search. Boom, we'll put that back into a.text, right? We can cat that a.text and we could look at descriptions, right? So we say grep tech IA for description. All right, and we see these different things in here. So we could do a password spray if we want to. But when we look up those users, if that user has a description, let's say the description is something like this, right? We can now mess with that. Okay, well, we see that that's their password like right there, and this is the user, but they never logged in. So if they have to change their password on first logon, we can actually change it for them. So let's go ahead and look at that like real quick. So we're going to say we got that user like right there. So let's try the NXC SMB, and we'll put in the same exact thing, except for this time we're going to try this other user, right? We don't know much about this Fanchine user yet, but if we can get more credentials, let's get them. And we'll go ahead and throw this in there. And all we have to do from here, we're going to get rid of that TAC users, because we already have all the users, right? Now we're just looking at descriptions here. We see status password must change. So that means, yes, on their first login, their status password has to change. So let's go ahead and change it for them. We do SMB password. All right, and that could be a TAC R. We're going to actually do .208 because my IP address has changed. TAC U is going to be that user like right there. And then we are going to have to put in their old password. So I'm just going to type this in just so I can copy and paste their old password in there. JODEE. And then we'll put in their old password. PSSW0 the exclamation point. And let's go ahead and let's see if that password actually changed. And we have. Okay, we changed the password. Looks like they can also read netlogon as sysfull. That's good news for us. I can bet that the last user could also read those same exact things for the last command that we also put in with that user, whatever her name was, I already forgot. Yep, Heather there, or Fanchine there. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's echo this user also into our user pass.text. Notice I'm appending the file, not overwriting it. So now if I cat that user pass.text there, we now have two different people in there, right, with those passwords. Okay, now we can start to try to see what can these users do, things like that, right? We could try to log in as them. We could try, obviously SMB is not showing pawn, so they don't have rights to reader rights that admin share, right? But we can try different things. We try LDAP, remote desktop. We can try all those different things. So let's go ahead and NXC. We'll just put that in for now. We can just say RDP. See if they have remote desktop on here, or maybe they can WinRM in. You know, what rights do these users actually have here, right? So we can try that. Okay, nothing. Okay, let's try WinRM. WinRM, they do actually get a shell. Okay, so we do have a shell here, right? So that's good news for us. So now if we go ahead, we can do evil WinRM then. TAC I 192.168.0.208. TAC U, that username, right? And then this password link right here. Nope, we got to do a TAC P for that password, or we could just enter it, but I didn't want it to mess up along the way there. So now we got that who am I /all. Let's see what this user can actually conduct, what they can actually do. Doesn't look like looks like they're part of the accounting group actually, but not much else, right? So let's go ahead and let's try to do Bloodhound. So there's quite a few different ways we can run Bloodhound. Okay, within your PDF there, it shows you how to do it through LDAP. So we're going to do it through Bloodhound Python on the video here. Okay, so we're going to do Bloodhound Python. We'll go ahead and we'll put in our user, right? So ELIEN.Jodee, Jodee. That is already their password, so that's good. I like to make that password to save every time pretty much. Okay, 208. All right, we don't need this GC or to the DNS TCP like right there. but we will keep that name server in there. And then we'll keep our collection method as all. That's what that taxi is. And then obviously domain name in there, right? So we can go ahead and enter. And we do get something back, right? So if we do an ls-tech-la, we got all this. So I like to usually tech rfa.text. I like to make a folder. We're going to make directory blood for Bloodhound, right? And what we can do from here is we can go ahead and move all those 2000 whatever star into blood. So if I see the end of there now, we can see that we now have this, right? Let's go into a sudo neo4j console. And then we'll also start a Bloodhound. My Bloodhound does already go straight to, or auto logs in, I think. Yours should too, because you're running on the same system. But if not, it's going to be neo4j, and then your password will be Kali. So username neo4j, password Kali, says it within your PDF also. And it is a saved password, so it will automatically log on. Okay, let's go ahead and, we already got some stuff in here, so we can clear the database. All right, so let's go ahead and clear that. Clear database. Clear database. And we'll go ahead and we will upload data here. And we're in Kali, DC, blood, and we can go ahead and copy all that. Now you can also zip this too. So you can make this a zip. You can send it to somebody, send it to the rest of your team, be like, hey, do you guys see anything in here? All those kind of things, right? So let's go ahead and look at the user that we have like right now. So that user is, or the two users that we have like right now. So let's go ahead and cat user pass, right? So we have this user, their pawn, and then that aligned user, Aline or whatever. So we'll go ahead and we'll look for that user like real quick. Boom. Okay, let's go ahead and right click. We're just going to say mark as owned. And then we also have that E-L-I-N, nope, E-I-L, Jody one, right? There we go. Right click. We can mark them as owned also. We click on this user. We start to look through different things, right? So you have simple objects in the same OU, 114. All right, that's probably the users group. We have first degree memberships. We have derivative local admin rights, execution rights, outbound rights. We have 2 on group delegated control. Transitive, we have 21. So that's good news for us. That 21 is really good news for us. That means we could most likely do a lot of different things with this user. Okay, so here's our user like right here, and we are a member of accounting. We're also a member of domain users. All right, domain users are also part of authenticated users, which doesn't look like we have too much going on within these guys in here, right? But we do have accounting as right owner over Drusy. So let's go ahead and check that one out like real quick. We'll right click on it. We'll go to help, Linux abuse. It looks like we can do an order edit. We can do a targeted Kerberos, or we can force change their password. Huh. So we may just be able to do a force change their password and see what we can do with that. Let's go ahead and try that first. I don't know if we actually need to do our order edit and DACO edit up here. I would highly suggest you try to do DACO edit because there is actually a problem with it in Packet. And I do have a video on actually how to actually run that command and everything like that over on the Overgrown Carrot 1 YouTube channel. So if we take this, all right, throw that into here, net RPC password, our target user. Okay, so our target user is going to be that user that we have like right here, right? So that is Drusy. We can go ahead and right click on it and we can just copy and paste. All right, boom. Okay, a new password that we want to give her. I'm just going to say P@SSW0RD exclamation point. And since we use that, we got to do single quotes, or we can, tell it to exit out of it. Domain, we're going to do cyberranges.local. Controlled user, that was Eline, I think. Could do that, right? Her password, and I'll show you what I mean by exiting out of it. P@SSW0RD exclamation point. We could do something like that, right? Then that says, hey, keep the exclamation point there. And then domain controller 192.168.0.208, right? Let's go and try that. Failed to set. Okay, access is denied. Okay. Maybe we actually do have to do that DACL edit and everything else first. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do our DACL edit first. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab this owner edit. Owner.py, right owner, the attacker, target's the victim. So owner is going to be her, right? Target, which is the victim, who is going to be her. The domain, with user then password. So we're going to do cyberrangers.local /user, right? The user is going to be her again. And then the password of PSISSW0D exclamation point. All right, so did not like that at all, or identify or unknown arguments. Okay, so as the time goes on, Bloodhound hasn't changed. These guys have. Okay, so I think we need to do new owner. So the little thing that says like, hey, this is what you run. That has not changed. However, the actual commands themselves, because they've been updated, things like that, those have changed. So that's what's happening here, okay? But it looks like we have same account name, Ryan Y, okay? Distinguished name, Ryan Y, boom, boom. Owner SID modified successfully. Okay, cool. So we modified it. Don't know if we actually modified it correctly, but it looks like we modified it. I don't know why it's Ryan Y in there with a 1000 for the SID, current owner information below. Oh, that's the current owner, okay. So we have now modified this owner, right? That's probably because Ryan Y was the first user to log in to actually do all this. So now I believe we have to do the DACL edit. May have to do this, may not. Okay, we can actually enter here. Okay. I want to see if what I was going to do there. All right, so action rights full control, principal controlled user, and our controlled user we know to be this Eileen person like right here, right? If I could copy her stuff, that's too much, but that's okay. Eileen, the target user. So who are we targeting, right? That's going to be this juicy person like right here. Now we might need to change up this command also. Domain, cyberrangers.local, controlled user, and then the password. So you can see that we can actually change our controlled user, right? Like our who we're giving the rights to. So I give the rights to a totally different user to actually mess with this, right? I could give those rights to a totally different user, and then that would then I would just have to be able to figure out how to get to that user. Or if I already had privileges for another user, then I could just do something like that, right? So go ahead and try that. And the DACL has been modified successfully. DACL backed up to DACL edit.back. Okay, cool. So now we've modified the DACL, okay? We could do a targeted Kerberos. We could always try this like right here. We might actually get more than what we see, right? If we do a targeted Kerberos, because we could say cyberrangers.local, TAC U is going to be our controlled user, who is her, with that password, right? We could always try this. And no matter what, we should see that other user stuff in there that we've been attacking. I keep forgetting her name, but we should be able to see her in there. But we may actually get more people if she actually has rights over more people. And we're just not seeing that yet. So yep, we got our Exchange service, which that's just regular Kerberos, HP service, regular Kerberos, MS SQL service, regular Kerberos, and then our Drusy user like right here. So we can actually echo this and try to actually into hash.text, right? Then we can say John hash.text. We could try to do that and see if we can get her password or not. But right now, I believe that we should have the rights to be able to do what we tried before with this. And we do. Okay, so we did that DACL edit. We did that owner edit. So we now own this user. We own that user because every single thing within Active Directory is looked at an object. So really, we own that object. Okay, so we've just changed Drewsy's password to PSISSW0RD exclamation point. We can test that with netexec as usual, NXC SMB 192.168.0.208. TAC U. We can put in our user here. TAC P. PSISSW0D exclamation point. And we can see that we do get a plus sign there stating that, yes, that is that user's password. Okay, that user can log in. So we have now changed that user like right there. So we now force change that user's password. We could have also done shell credentials, could have done a lot of other things. All right, what else could we do? We also have a generic right over sales. And sales has generic all over Aaliyah Kristen, who has generic all over Emily, who has generic all over Adarine, who has generic all over senior management, who has generic all finally over Fashion Janine, who we already have, right? So we can see like wherever this is going, right? So let's go ahead and look at that generic right like real quick. We'll go to help, Linux abuse. Okay, we can add our member to that group. So we can just add our member to this group like right here to the sales group. So let's go ahead and test that out. right? So we'll go ahead and do this. Boom. Target group is going to be sales. Our target user, again, is going to be her. And we can pretty much, if you notice, the command's the exact same thing, right? We're just changing how we're doing it here, the first couple things here. So we could just copy and paste the rest of this. And we are now part of sales. Okay, easy as that, right? So we already WinRM in. We could try WinRM in again with 208, right? I think it was. Tech U would be her stuff like right here. We can actually check to make sure that we are actually part of sales. Or we can also do we can actually list out who's actually part of sales. Utilize that RPC group. But we say who am I / all. And we can see if we're part of sales. It may not show up in here for like a little bit. Yep, but there it is, sales. We are now part of the sales group. All right, who has more rights over things, right? They have generic all over this user, which we already did. So we're just going to kind of let that be. Okay. Something else that we see is we see this add self. Now this should show up as add self or self. Okay, but we can actually add ourselves to the executives group. That's what that means. And we see that since we belong to all these different things, right? Well, actually, we are going to have to be Drusy, like right here. So since we have right owner over Drusy, and we just became Drusy, we know her password now, we can now add Drusy to, and we can also say that she's also owned now too, right? We have her password. So we can actually add her to executives. So let's do that like real quick. Let's add Drusy to executives. So we'll say help, Linux abuse, and we can just do a netRPC again, it looks like, and we can put Drusy in as our executive there, right? So our target group is going to be executives now. Now, like I said, you may also see this as just help or just self. Okay, if it's just self, you're going to have to do a Bloodhound by hand thing. We'll show that a little bit later. All right. Because it won't show up, or may most likely will not show up on Bloodhound itself unless you're utilizing customized queries. Which, if you go out to GitHub, there's a lot of customized queries out there, and I would highly suggest you learn how to use those. Okay. So executives group says that entity status access denied. Okay, I wonder if I can actually add her to it then. Oh, you know what? It's good. Status access is denied because I'm literally trying to use someone else's username here, aren't I? So yeah, 100%. That is 100% correct. All right, now we have status access is denied, saying that I can't add myself to the executives group. However, she is a member of project management, who's a member of add self. Maybe I do have to actually use my user back here, this Eileen user back here. We'll go ahead and try her. Add member, we'll say executives. Still saying add status access is denied. So we're just going to try to figure that one out like right there. But we are a member of that project management group as her, right? So we can log in as her. So I'm a little bit confused as to why I'm not able to do it here with a group add for me to be able to add myself in there. That might be something we take a look at later on, but we should be able to add ourselves in the executives group. Why we're not, I don't know just yet. But we should be able to with this usually like right here, because if I click on her, if I double click on her, then her rights should come up over here. They do. If I go down, transient object control, let's see what we got here for her. She's a member of that, right owner over this, add self to that. So yes, she should be able to add herself to that executives group, but for some reason that's not working like right now. That's okay. Not the first time I haven't seen this, things now work. We also have right owner, which we've already done, haven't we? I believe we have. Let's go ahead and go to help. Linux abuse. Yep, we already did order edit, everything like that, and we force change her password. Let's see what else we have. Generic all, we already did those. All right, we can see that we got a few things in here. We have add self over here, right, which means that we can add ourselves to the group. Okay, something we may actually be able to do, if we can't do it through this, we may actually be able to try it over here, right, on our WinRM. So what we're going to do is we're going to log in as that Drusy user. See if she's even able to WinRM in. She is. Okay, cool. Who am I / all. All right. Awesome. And then from here, we could try to do a net group / add net group executives. /add drusi.gea identity. Error has occurred. /add /domain. Maybe I have to do something like that. Nope, doesn't seem to like it. Doesn't seem to want to add Drusi into that group, right? So, yep, status access is denied. So for some reason, it doesn't seem to want to add her into that group with that self. We can always look up the PowerShell version of this. Windows abuse. Oh, we need to put add domain group member. Might have to be something like that. So let's go ahead and try that like right there. Obviously, we're not adding ourselves into the domain admins group, but we are going to have to do our creds. So we are going to have to do this whole part first. So let's go ahead and hop back over to here. We'll say that. All right, so we're going to make a variable called secPassword, convert secure string, and we have to put our actual password in there. Okay, and then we're going to say cred. All right, and that's going to be utilizing the password along with cyberranges.local, and then our username here. Remember, Windows does not care if it's capital or lowercase like that. That case sensitivity doesn't care about for usernames. The only thing it cares about is with passwords. We go and copy that, make those two variables down here. There we go. We now create those two variables, right? And now what we can do is our add domain group member. We can now try something like this. Identity is going to be executives, right? That's the group that we're trying to go into. Our member is going to be this person like right here. And then we're going to put in those credentials, right? That $cred, so it's going to call for that variable that we just created right here. We'll try that. And it says add to is not recognized command line function. Okay, so that's another problem like right there. We don't have add domain group member. We may not have that for another reason. We may have to upload something like PowerView on here. So let's go ahead and let's grab it. Since we are going deep into this, let's grab PowerView. All right. So we can go over to the GitHub for PowerView. We can say Control-C. Let's go ahead and wget this guy real quick. All right. Let's go ahead and we'll say upload, or no, not even upload, IEX, IWR. Use basic parsing, right? We'll put it in the memory right. Just like we learned with some other videos, we'll put this in memory. We'll go ahead and we'll start up a web server over here. We'll say HTTP 192.168.0.186/PowerView. Remember, Linux is case sensitive. .ps1. We'll see if that works like right there. It does take it. Now let's go ahead and try to add domain group member, and we have now added them. We don't get that status access denied, right? So it didn't work on up here. And then executives, however, it just worked like right there. So I can do a who am I or net group executives right on the domain there. And there's Drusi right there. So we have now added her into that executives group. Awesome. So now we can now do whatever executives can do. So if we click on there, we were to scroll down or whatever, we can try to see what can they do. They can't do much, but we now own that group also. So we can mark that group also as owned. Okay, we have that right owner over Cassandra up here. All right, it just keeps going and going and going, right? So there's office admins, everything else, right? We try to look at office admins to see if we have anything like that. They have first degree or transitive control and everything like that all the way through. Okay, which they actually have project management right over Cassandra. Okay, we can click on Cassandra and see if what can she do, right? What are her object controls and everything like that. And we just keep trying to figure things out and see how far into this system can we actually get. All right, so that's one thing that we can do, like right there. We can also go over an analysis and we can try to say like, hey, I want to see all find principals DC sync rights. Sure, why not? Okay, this is everything with DC sync rights. So if we want to try to become a user, these are the users that we want to try to become, like right here. All right, like this poo guy, okay? I want to try to become poo. All right, so we can actually click on him. Something else we can do, we click on him and we can go to inbound controls. All right, so we can actually see what actually works against him. So that's our user like right there. So we can see, okay, cool. Administrator Ryan Y and also student are a member of administrators who have write DACL over poo, right? Who else does? IT admins do also, right? So let's go ahead, let's hop over into IT admins and let's see what type of inbound controls they have on them, right? So Ryan Wine Administrator, they're both over there. Okay. But student Pooh, Flory, Cody, and just going through, just saying, yep, all those people are able to get to that IT admins, right? Now we're continuing on with this, and we're just kind of, playing around with Bloodhound, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and see maybe what HTTP service could do, Exchange service, and all that. So HTTP service, let's see if they can do anything cool. All right, because we can Kerberos them. We haven't tried to crack their password yet, but we know we can Kerberos them, right? So they look like they have a lot of the same exact permissions as other people do, right? Oh, what about Exchange? Actually, there's another one with right owner over that user, which we already got an ad self marketing. Okay, so that's for marketing up there. So it could become part of the marketing group, could become a senior management group. We already are part of executives, but it looks like we might actually be able to do a couple more things with accounting and marketing up here with our Kristen, like right there, who we can just kind of work through and become that user, right? Exchange service to see what they can do. All right, kind of the same exact thing it looks like. And then we have, there's one more service. I think it's MSSQL service. Let's see what they can do just because they're Kerber roastable. And it looks like they also have the same exact thing. Oh, I didn't even click on them. MSSQL service. There we go. Okay, now we're them. And let's go ahead and we'll head down into those rights that they have. It kind of looks like the same exact thing that everyone else had, right? What else we could do is if you ever see DC Sync, that's another one for sync rights. Well, actually, before we even hit that up, because that's kind of like the end of it all, that DC Sync. All right, we're going to pretend that we got a password, or Ryan's password, whatever else. Or we don't even really have to pretend. All right, we could always copy it from the folder, right? So CD into C. I don't know if I can actually CD. C user student document. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to do this or not. Yeah, I can. Okay. I'll see if I was able to do that or not. Let me see if they have any rights in here that we don't know about. Project management, boom, boom, network. Just try to see if there's anything in here that, we could utilize to be able to get into a different folder or some of that. But we'll just go into the Ryan folder or whatever, or the student folder. Pretend that, we found those wherever or something. Then we can look at that. But let's go ahead and let's look at Bloodhound by hand first. Okay, so I believe it's in your penetration testing notes. I'm pretty sure it is. Control F by hand. Or maybe I didn't actually put it in here. I may not have. Bloodhound Python. Bloodhound. Boom, boom, boom. Just looking through the PDF that I wrote because I don't know what I wrote in the PDF. All right, I did not put anything with Bloodhound by hand in here. Okay, however, we can also do a Bloodhound by hand. I do actually have a Google document that actually I can copy and paste from in my own little blog thing there. And that'll just take me 1 minute to grab. I remember where it's at. MarauderSec Blogspot. So we'll just go ahead. We'll hop back over to here. Oh, and I'm going to save the virtual machine. Okay. Okay, cool. Hopefully that didn't shut down. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll say MarauderSecLLC.com. Oh, if I could spell my own company name right. There we go. Okay, we'll hop over into here. We'll go into blog. And we have Bloodhound by hand sitting like right here. So let's go ahead and click on that. All right. And we have our nice little AMSI bypass coming down into our Bloodhound by hand sitting right there, right? So let's go ahead and copy this. We'll kind of walk through it because ours is going to be a little bit different, right? So very first thing we're going to do is we need to convert our name to SID, to an SID, right? And that's going to be the very first one there. And we're actually not going to use student. We're going to use Drusy here, right? Because she had that add self, right? Whoops. Okay. We'll just go ahead and type it in down here then. $SID equals convert name to SID. We're going to say, oh, that's why. Okay. Let's go ahead and just try to copy her stuff again, huh? There we go. Okay. convert name to SID. There we go. All right, so now we converted that name to an SID. Now we want to do get domain object ACL. Now remember, Power View should already be on the machine. All right, then we say IT group SID, convert name to SID executives. We can actually do that exactly like right there. And that's to look at the executives group, just so you know. All right, but what we could do is just something like this. That should have actually seen everything that we could have done with that user, but for some reason it's not seeing that SID like right there, or that we can do that. We may not be able to see it because it only looks like one level deep. It doesn't look through multiple levels. So if we actually go back to that user like right there, Drusy, because we know what group she belongs to, right? So if we actually go back to her and we click on her, and then we do our transitive object control, may not have seen it because our add self is all the way over here. Actually, whoa. There we go. Oh God. Bloodhound is having some problems here. There we go, add self. Okay, so project management. So what we want to do is we actually want to look at the project management group. So we're actually going to use this one like right here. Okay, we're going to convert an IT group SID or whatever. We're just going to say project management group, right? So we can go ahead and grab that. There we go. Then we can go ahead and grab this like right here, and we can call for that variable that we just created. And let's see if project management group can do anything, and if that will work for us or not. If we can find that add self. But this is a much obviously slower way of doing it, but it doesn't pull all the information back like Bloodhound does. For some reason we're not seeing it. Could just be something with the machine or whatever else. But yeah, project management should see that we can do add self, or it might just not realize that we can add self. It may not be able to look at that like right there and figure it out, right? It may not be able to realize that one, so it may not be able to see the executives. We may actually be able to put in executives just to see if it decides to do anything with that. We can try it. And then we can try that get domain object again, resolve GUIDs again. I have also noticed that sometimes on WinRM, it's a little bit different than within remote desktop, things like that. So there's a lot of things that could be changing here, but that's all right for now. But that is something that I would highly suggest you actually learn to do. Is it by hand? May help you out at some point. No idea. Okay. You may see some different things in there. Don't know why we're not getting the information that we're seeing on Bloodhound over there, but I mean, it's not the first time that I've ever seen different information with different tools, obviously, right? Another thing we want to do now we have all this is we want to go ahead and make directory LDAP. You can see it in the LDAP directory. Then we're going to do an LDAP domain dump. LDAP domain dump, LDAP 192.168.0. What was the IP address of this guy again? .208. Okay. Now we need to put in our username and password, right? So let's go ahead and do LDAP domain dump tac help. And we can go ahead and do, okay, so this is tac U and a tac P, right? So let's go ahead and grab that command that we just did. And we're just going to say, and we do need that domain name, it looks like, so we're going to say cyberranges.local/ and then we'll say Drusy Janine, that's fine, whatever user, okay? And then we'll say tac P, PSNSSW0D exclamation point. All right, didn't really seem to like that very much. I must not have the domain username for authentication. Oh, tac U. Obviously, you have to put something in front of that, huh? Has to know what that's for. So now we start that domain dump. That's been finished. We're doing ls-tac-la. We see that it's not 905, so we know that there's information in there. Let's go in Firefox, that domain users.html. And this will also give us the description and everything else. So there we go, new DNS admin. We have a new user created like right here. All right, Eileen Jody. Okay, she's part of accounting and sales, right? But this will also give us the same information that we got before and also show us the descriptions in there too. We can also see who belongs to what and everything like that. And it's just kind of broken down a little bit more easily for us to be able to go through, right? So that is Bloodhound, like right there, going through a few different attack techniques, things like that with a Bloodhound. I believe we only have a couple things left, and that is just your certificates, and then lastly going through and trying to do some pivoting, right? Trying to pivot from one machine to another. So that's gonna be it for this one, like right here. I would like to congratulate you getting this far into the course. That's a big accomplishment, like right there. So far, the PDF, like right now, just so you guys know, is 161 pages with 20,345 words. Okay, so and I don't even know how many images. So congratulations on getting this far so far. And yep, hopefully I'll see you for the next one.